All right, let's dive right into this explainer where we're going to unpack the actual mechanics of wealth building. We're looking at modern frameworks today that completely challenge everything we've ever been taught about the grind. If you've ever felt like you're just running on a financial treadmill, putting in endless hours but barely moving forward, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to visually break down exactly how modern wealth is actually generated. To kick things off, let's tackle this incredibly provocative question. Why is it that some people literally work 16 hours a day and stay totally broke, while others become millionaires working half as much? I mean, we all know someone who works from dawn until dusk, breaking their back, yet they still struggle just to pay the bills. And then there are those who seemingly work a few hours from a laptop and generate massive wealth. Why? Is it just luck, or is there a fundamental difference in how they operate? Section 1. The hard work lie. Let's systematically dismantle society's absolute biggest myth about achieving financial success. For generations, we've all been handed this exact same 3-step script. You know the drill. Go to school, get a safe degree, put your head down, do as much overtime as you can, and save your pennies. But here's the harsh reality. This traditional path rarely creates actual millionaires in the modern economy. It's a formula that was designed for industrial-era stability, definitely not modern financial freedom. So what's the core issue with this path? Well, you are trading a completely finite resource, your time, for money. There are only 24 hours in a day, right? So that immediately puts a strict limit, a literal hard cap on your earning potential. Combine that with rising inflation that's constantly eating away at your savings, and lifestyle inflation, where your expenses just magically rise with every promotion, and you end up trapped in a cycle with a total lack of leverage. Just think about a construction worker, a taxi driver, or a delivery rider. These are insanely hardworking people, but their income is strictly tied to physical effort. If they stop moving, they stop earning, period. Now, compare that to a SaaS founder, a YouTuber, or an investor. It's crazy, but the hardest manual workers often earn the least. This really proves that financial reward in today's world depends significantly more on leverage, not just pure physical exhaustion. Moving into Section 2, the millionaire mindset shift. Let's look at the critical psychological pivot required to actually change your financial trajectory. It all boils down to this one massive mental contrast. When looking at a new job or a project, a typical employee usually asks, "How much will I get paid?" But millionaires, they focus entirely on one fundamental question: how much value can I create? They deeply understand that money is simply a byproduct of value exchange. If you solve $1 million problem, you get paid accordingly, regardless of how many hours it actually took you to solve it. And to create that kind of massive value, you have to adopt specific traits. Notice that working 18-hour shifts is nowhere on this list. Instead, it's all about thinking long-term and really embracing delayed gratification. It's about building something today that might not pay off for months, but will eventually pay off exponentially. It requires becoming an elite problem solver, taking calculated risks rather than reckless gambles, and committing yourself to continuous, lifelong learning. Section 3. The power of leverage. To make this ambitious mindset actually work, you need the ultimate wealth multiplier. So what exactly is leverage? Simply put, it is the mechanism that finally detaches your earning potential from the ticking clock. Think of leverage like a giant fulcrum. With the right lever, a single push from you can move a boulder that 100 people couldn't push manually. In wealth building, it means getting disproportionate financial returns for every single hour you invest by utilizing tools, systems, capital, or people. Now, traditional leverage was usually just using money to make more money, or hiring people to build out a team. But today, we have infinite, permissionless leverage: technology, media, code, and AI. Writing a piece of software, filming a YouTube video, or setting up an AI workflow. These are assets you only have to build once, but thanks to the internet, they can be consumed by millions, earning you money repeatedly on complete autopilot, literally while you sleep. Applying this leverage, though, requires a fundamental operational shift. You have to transition from working in the business, doing all the daily repetitive tasks manually, to working on the business. When you work on the business, you become the architect. You utilize automation, you create templates, and you delegate so the system just runs smoothly without needing your constant physical intervention. Section 4. Building high-income skills. Because before you can build these complex, automated systems, you absolutely need a highly valuable foundation. The explainer strongly argues that specialized skills matter far more than traditional degrees today. sales and closing, copywriting, digital marketing, programming, video editing, and AI automation. These are specific, highly scalable skills. They act as massive multipliers for your base income because they are directly tied to generating revenue. I mean, if you can write copy that sells a product to 10,000 people, your skill has immense, measurable leverage. All right, Section 5, Wealth Habits and Fatal Mistakes. Let's examine the daily behaviors that will either systematically compound your wealth or actively destroy it. An absolute cornerstone habit of the wealthy is building multiple streams of income. Relying on just a single job or a single freelancing gig is incredibly financially risky today. If that one stream dries up, you are immediately at zero. But by diversifying across active income and passive streams like dividend stocks, digital products, YouTube affiliate income, or rental and business income, you build an unshakable financial fortress. And you can see a really sharp contrast in daily habits here. Wealth creators focus heavily on consistency, reading, engaging in deep work, and strict financial tracking. On the flip side, the fatal mistakes that literally keep people broke include falling victim to lifestyle inflation, taking on bad consumer debt to buy liabilities, letting the fear of failure completely paralyze their progress, or just waiting around for motivation instead of relying on pure discipline. Section 6, your 5-year action plan. Now, let's tie all these theoretical concepts together into a concrete, realistic timeline. This is the exact sequence recommended to pull this off. Month 1 is entirely focused on learning just one high-income skill. By month 3, you monetize it by getting your first client. By month 6, you start decoupling your time from your money by creating a digital asset. In year 1, you are building systems, working on the business. And by year 5, you are massively scaling that output using the exact leverage we've been talking about. As we wrap up this explainer, I want you to remember this. You do not get rich just by outworking everyone else in raw hours. You become a millionaire by prioritizing smart, leveraged work over brute force labor. It's all about creating deep value that continues to function, scale, and generate revenue even when you decide to take a break. So I'm going to leave you with this final, incredibly provocative thought to challenge how you approach your own daily grind. Look at your current path and ask yourself honestly, are you just working to survive today, or are you actively utilizing leverage to build something that will eventually work for you forever? Thanks for diving into this explainer with me. Now, go build your leverage.